Australia went to Scotland for the 2026 Commonwealth Games and came home with so many medals that I'm surprised Qantas didn't charge us for excess baggage. 70 gold, 45 silver and 56 bronze, giving us 171 medals in total and a comfortable first place on the medal table ahead of England. So yes, Australians are usually humble, but perhaps not today. Today we are allowed to be very, very proud. These were not ordinary Commonwealth Games either. The event was originally meant to be held in Victoria before the state withdrew and Glasgow stepped in, rebuilt the Games around its existing venues and delivered an 11-day competition featuring around 3,000 athletes from 74 nations and territories across 10 sports and 6 integrated parasports. Scotland didn't just save the Games, it proved that sometimes the backup plan can become the main event. But once competition began, Australia didn't behave like a guest. We behaved like someone visiting your house, eating everything in the fridge and then leaving with most of the cutlery. Our greatest domination came in the swimming pool, where the Australian Dolphins collected 76 medals, 37 gold, 16 silver and 23 bronze, and won all 8 relay events. At that point, Toll Cross International Swimming Centre was basically an Australian branch office, only with slightly more water and much better looking employees. Meg Harris was the individual superstar of the Games, with 6 gold medals, the largest personal gold haul in Glasgow. But what impressed me most was that 4 of those victories came in relays. She had to trust the swimmers before her, deliver when her moment arrived, and understand that the medal belonged to the entire team. That is leadership without needing the title of leader. Kyle Chalmers shared gold with Ben Armbruster in the 50-metre butterfly, reached 10 career Commonwealth Games gold medals, and moved beyond Ian Thorpe as Australia's most successful male swimmer at the Games. Carles has carried expectations for years, yet he continues to turn up, compete, and add another chapter to his career. Longevity is not about remaining famous, it is about remaining useful. Sam Short won the 400, 800 and 1,500 metre freestyle titles before adding relay gold, while Lani Pallister completed the same extraordinary distance freestyle treble and also won relay gold. Molly O'Callaghan claimed the 200 metre freestyle, Cameron McAvoy won the 50 metre freestyle, and Flynn Southam took the 100 metre freestyle. Established champions and emerging stars weren't fighting for attention, they were pushing one another forward. That is one of the greatest lessons from Australian sport. Healthy competition doesn't have to destroy teamwork. You can desperately want to beat the person beside you and still celebrate when they succeed. In business, some people believe another person's success takes something away from them. When another agent sells more property, receives greater recognition, or earns a promotion, they immediately become unhappy. But great organisations don't build cultures of jealousy. They create environments where the standard rises because everyone is improving together. The athletics track produced some of the Games' most emotional moments, with Australia winning 34 athletics and para-athletics medals, including 12 gold. On the final day alone, the team collected 7 gold medals and 17 medals overall, making it the most successful single day in Australian Commonwealth Games athletics history. Our men's 4x100 metre relay team of Lachlan Kennedy, Joshua Azzopardi, Caleb Law and Rohan Brownie defeated Olympic champions Canada in 38.07 seconds. 4 years earlier, Australia had been disqualified in Birmingham after Brownie fell during the heats. He carried that disappointment for 4 years, returned to the same stage and helped Australia win gold. That isn't simply a sporting result, that is redemption. Many people think failure is the end of a story, but usually failure is just the part that makes the ending worth watching. Lachlan Kennedy also ran 9.85 seconds to win silver in the men's 100 metres, setting a new Australian record and delivering Australia's first Commonwealth Games medal in a men's individual sprint event for 64 years. Tori Lewis took bronze in the women's 100 metres in 10.99 seconds, becoming the first Australian woman to break the 11-second barrier. And they did it in Glasgow weather, which looked somewhere between heavy rain and someone throwing buckets of water directly at the athletes. Eleanor Patterson delivered another beautiful story. She first became Commonwealth champion in Glasgow as an 18-year-old in 2014, and 12 years later she returned to the same city and won again, clearing 1.96 metres on her final attempt, while fellow Australian Mikola Olislager earned silver. 12 years separated those victories, but the same lesson connected them. Talent may introduce you to the world, but persistence allows the world to remember you. Rose Davies won both the 5,000 and 10,000 metres. KY Robinson won the men's 10,000 metres and added silver in the 5,000. Matthew Dent defended his discus title, Jemima Montag won the waist walk again, Curtis Marshall completed a remarkable 3rd consecutive Commonwealth Games pole vault victory, and the first women's mile ever held at the Games, Adam Caldwell took gold ahead of Jess Holt and Claudia Hollingsworth for a complete Australian podium sweep. Away from the pool and track, Georgia Godwin helped Australia win the women's artistic gymnastics team title and became the most decorated Australian female gymnast team title and became the most decorated Australian female gymnast in Commonwealth Games history with her 9th medal. She achieved this after returning from a serious Achilles injury that had destroyed her Olympic hopes only 2 years earlier and the team victory was Australia's first in the event since 2010. At the Velodrome, Lee Hoffman won 3 gold medals and 1 silver, becoming the first Australian cyclist to win 4 medals at a single Commonwealth Games won, while his 1,000 metre time trial victory came in a Commonwealth Games record. Georgia Baker added 2 gold medals, equalled Australia's cycling record of 5 career Commonwealth Games titles, and carried the Australian flag at the closing ceremony. But perhaps my favourite Australian story came from the bowls. Louise Hoskins was 76 years old, the oldest athlete at the Games, and together with Serena Bonnell, she won gold in the women's para bowls pairs, becoming the oldest Commonwealth Games gold medalist in history. 76 years old. So the next time someone tells me they are too old to begin a business, change careers, write a book, or learn how to use artificial intelligence, I'm going to show them Louise holding that gold medal. Australia's men's and women's wheelchair 3x3 basketball teams also won gold, while the men's 3x3 team took silver, and the Diamonds recovered from semi-final disappointment to defeat England for netball bronze. Not every Australian favourite won gold, but that is also part of sport. Pride should not depend only on finishing first, because sometimes character is revealed by what you do after the result you wanted disappears. For me, Australia's performance in Glasgow teaches 3 important lessons. First, success is built through systems, not one superstar. Australia didn't top the medal table because one athlete carried the entire country. We won through depth, with swimmers, runners, cyclists, gymnasts, boxers, bowlers and para-athletes all contributing. Second, great teams create space for both experienced champions and young talent. Kyle Chalmers and Cameron McAvoy delivered again, while athletes such as Lachlan Kennedy, Tori Lewis and Abby Caldwell announced themselves to the world. The experienced athletes protected the standard, and the younger athletes raised it. Third, opportunity rewards preparation. Nobody watching Louise Hoskins win at 76 could say her moment arrived too late. Nobody watching Rohan Browning return 4 years after disaster could say failure had finished him. Nobody watching Eleanor Patterson win again after 12 years could say the best part of her story had already passed. That is why I'm proud, not simply because Australia won 171 medals, but because of what those medals represented: discipline, resilience, teamwork, inclusion, and the courage to perform while the whole Commonwealth was watching. We should also thank Glasgow. Australia may have finished first on the medal table, but Scotland deserves enormous credit for stepping forward, welcoming the Commonwealth, and proving that these games still have a future. My name is Peter. I came to Australia from a small town in China, built a real estate business, became an investor, wrote a best-selling book, and I'm still trying to understand what success really means. Glasgow 2026 reminded me that success is not one person standing above everybody else. It is a team helping every person discover how high they can rise. Congratulations to every Australian athlete who wore the green and gold. You made us proud. Now, I want to hear from you. Which Australian performance inspired you the most? Leave the athlete's name, or simply one word that describes this team, in the comments below. If this video gave you a different perspective, share it with someone who loves Australian sport, leadership, or a great comeback story. I'll be exploring more lessons from sport, business, real estate, and life every week, so subscribe and join me for the next one.